Alright, welcome to Integral Physics. Today I want to talk about spring combinations. What that means is we're going to talk about springs that are put together in parallel and springs that are combined in series. See, depending on how you combine springs, whether that be in parallel or series, the overall combination of those springs produces an equivalent spring that can either be stiffer or softer than the individual springs. So we're going to use Hooke's law to find the equivalent spring constant when combining springs in parallel and when combining springs in series. See, Hooke's law says that the force produced by a spring is linearly proportional to how far that spring has been stretched, and that constant of proportionality is what we call the spring constant. Now, each individual spring has its own spring constant, but when we combine two springs together, the question comes up, which spring constant should we use in Hooke's law to find the total force produced by these springs? And the answer actually is both. Now, in the case of parallel spring combinations, these two springs produce force which combine in order to support some load. Now, we could in fact just replace these two springs with a single stiffer spring. And what we're going to do is solve for exactly how stiff that spring would have to be. Now, there's a couple of key ideas that we need to grasp in order to understand how springs in parallel work with one another. Now, the first being, if this load or block stretches these springs downward, both springs are going to stretch the same amount. So if we were to write out Hooke's law for each of these individual springs, we would find these terms x1, x2, and x for our equivalent spring are all going to be the same dimension. And that's going to be key in finding the equivalent spring constant moving forward. Now, there's one additional idea that we need to recognize here in order to solve for our equivalent spring constant. And that is that both of these springs are acting upward on this block. And from a mathematical standpoint, that means the sum of these two forces are going to be equal to the total force on this block. So now what we have are a system of equations which we can substitute into one another in order to solve for our equivalent spring constant. So subbing these three versions of Hooke's law into this equation, we come up with this function. And you'll see, because our displacements are all the same, they cancel out, as do the negatives. And we find the equivalent spring constant is simply the sum of the two individual spring constants. Now realize, if we were to add a third spring to this combination, that would simply be adding a third term to this function. Now moving on to a series combination of springs. Because these springs are connected end to end, things work a little bit differently when springs are combined in series. Now, looking at springs in series, Hooke's law is still going to apply both to individual springs as well as our equivalent spring. But because the springs are connected end to end rather than in parallel, these relationships that we came up with for springs in parallel for both displacement and force are going to work a little bit differently here. So if we place a load here, the only thing holding this block up is going to be spring 2. Which means the force by spring 2 is equal to the total force. And since the only thing holding up spring 2 is in fact spring 1, that means the force by spring 2 is also going to be equal to the force by spring 1. Now, in placing this load on these springs in series, we're going to see each individual spring stretch a certain amount, depending on how stiff it is. But realize those two displacements are not going to be equal to each other. And in fact, the total distance which this load moves downward is going to be equal to the sum of these two displacements. And again, we're left with a system of equations, much like we were for springs in parallel. And again, we're going to rearrange our functions for Hooke's law and substitute them into one of our terms. Now this time we'll see, because all of our forces are equal to one another, they'll cancel out, as will the negatives. And we're left with this equation for the equivalent spring constant of springs which have been connected end to end, or in what we call series. And just like with parallel springs, if we were to add a third spring to this in series, we'd simply be adding another 1/K3 term. So ultimately what these two equations are telling us is when we combine springs in parallel, we effectively form a stiffer spring. And when we combine springs in series, they effectively become a softer spring. So I hope you found this helpful in understanding parallel versus series springs. And on that note, that's all for now.